Hello and welcome to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast where it all goes down in the yellow box. My name is Matt. With me as always, Bill Barber. How's it going, Bill?
It's going. I'm tired. This week's
You
been
don't
a
say.
fucking shit show. Like it's just one of those constant things. I had a no boss Friday though today. That was nice. Like all the bosses left, so we were basically unsupervised the entire day, which you can imagine how that went.
It wasn't technically a no boss Friday for me, but the boss that I like 95% of the time am interacting with was not there, so it might as well have been.
Gotcha. That's fun, I guess.
Yeah. So what have you been up to this week, Bill? How's things going?
This week's been kind of slow, to be honest. Did my usual podcast stuff. Mostly was reading through the our assignment for this week. Took longer than I expected. Actually, I got it. It took longer, but I also got it done earlier than I thought I would.
Same. It's so dense. It's such a dense series.
It's dense, but like the ending kind of goes quick. Like we'll get to it in the episode, but yeah, it was surprisingly faster than I expected. Got some more comic stuff in. I finished the Spurrier Flash run. Still don't really like it, but I'm happy I finished it. The middle section is probably the strongest. Especially when they pick like an artist for like the rest of the run, so it isn't like constantly changing art styles. Yeah, the beginning's too slow. The middle is pretty fun, but then the ending is completely just like insane, and like it kind of just abruptly ends because I think the run got cut short because it wasn't particularly popular. They also had to transition into the DCKO stuff, which is coming out soon. But yeah, it was interesting. The final pages were really sweet, but like the build, the everything that led up to that was like just not a great Flash story. I don't think so. I think it was a bit too intellectual for my tastes.
Fair.
There was a point
on like the reading assignment for this week, then.
I mean, at least I had reference to this. Also, that's its own thing. Like when I'm reading a Wally West comic, I'm not expecting this like deep intellectual thought and there's like an entire run about how Wally's been split into like 1,000 different versions of himself, and they're all like exist.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Well, the last time I mentioned it, he had been split into two, and there was two versions of him running around. This time there's like 30.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Like there's a point where like one of the Wally, it's like Wally's son from the future. Yeah, don't ask him. It doesn't really make sense. But his son from the future is like holding one of the Wally's like severed, just dead head. I'm like, what the fuck are we? Like, what is this? Like, where are we going here? None of this shit has been really acknowledged since. So I'm assuming that this run is going to be one of those runs that kind of just exists in a bubble, and they'll acknowledge it maybe if they need to.
Interesting.
Yeah, comics, they're fun.
Yeah. Speaking of comics, I got a new one in. I got I had some reward points, and I got the Batman Beyond Unlimited Compendium.
Nice.
So I don't know when I'm actually going to get around to reading it. Although I realized after I got it that there was at least one other compendium from the earlier stuff. I was like, ah, shit, I got them out of order. Damn it. So now I got to look into that. And I don't even know what it goes for. So I'm going to start looking into that.
Yeah, Batman Beyond comics are such a fucking shit show, so it's kind of like it's not going to hurt you if you don't get a hold of it, but if you're desperate to, I mean, they're not.
I mean, desperate's a strong word, but I mean, I'll probably still find things I like about them. And
yeah,
the thing is I still want to support it because if people don't support it, then they won't make more, and if they don't make more, it won't get better. So,
well, Batman Beyond is kind of, they've tried so many times and they still can't seem to figure it the fuck out at this point. Because they don't want to just do the show. They want to make it different. And I'm like, No.
I mean, they could. I mean, they don't have to make it just exactly the same as the show, but I mean, you could even just pick it up where the show left off.
Yeah, they don't want to
Two
do that.
similar stories, make new villains, maybe even do some weird timey-wimey shit and bring in some old villains. Who knows? Like,
well,
it's fucking comics. You could do anything you want.
They've tried this, and the best run we had was the Rebirth run for a little while, and then that also went off the rails because they just for some reason.
When was that?
2016. It's been collected, I believe.
So
I'm not sure.
I might have some of. I don't know. I know the unlimited compendium is all stuff from the 2010s. I just don't know how far into the 2010s it goes.
It might not be Rebirth because I think Rebirth is separately collected.
Okay.
Because I believe those compendiums are like all the shit before they had a solidified storyline. Because there's a point in Batman Beyond's history where Tim Drake is Batman Beyond, and it's weird. Because Terry was dead, supposedly.
Yeah, especially since they comicified the Return of the Joker storyline. It's in the compendium that I have.
That's not canon, though. That's its own universe. I think.
Either way.
I have no idea.
But on the subject, though, I have been watching Batman Beyond, and I can proudly say it holds up.
It does hold up, but it's one of those shows that I feel like kind of has to exist in its own bubble.
I mean, it does and it doesn't. Aside from I think a single crossover in Static Shock and then the little bit at the end of Justice League, it pretty much is just in its own bubble. Aside from the fact that it does reference things and from the Batman the Animated Series. Like actually, there was
as a sequel to Batman the Animated Series, yeah.
Yeah, it works perfectly just as a sequel. But actually, it was funny. I was watching an episode, and it was the episode where the Royal Flush Gang came in, and there was that weird thing where Terry was having issues with Dana, and then he met this other girl, and it turns out she was a member of the Royal Flush Gang, and he kept trying to vouch for her, but she still ended up sticking with her family and went to jail. And then at the end, at the end of the episode, he's standing there with Bruce after giving him a bunch of shit about it earlier, and he was like, "Oh man, this just sucks. You ever go through anything like this?" And Bruce is like, "Oh. Let me tell you about a little girl I used to know called Selena Kyle."
The only reason that Bruce works so well is because it's Kevin Conroy. I don't think anyone else could have done that role.
No, probably not. But again, that's why if they ever decided to do an actual movie, I mean, obviously it's too late for Adam West, but and they already fucked up the Michael Keaton thing.
Well,
I don't know.
You know Kevin Conroy is dead, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I thought you were going there for a minute. I'm like, that's not gonna work either. He did get to play. No. He did get to play old Bruce Wayne though in one of the crossovers, which was pretty awesome.
I mean, what I really wanted was Michael Keaton, but they fucked that up and already did that in Flash. So maybe we'll wait 20 years and then Christian Bale can do it.
Val Kilmer, the most who cares Batman ever.
Actually, you know what? If they made it right now, Bruce Greenwood.
Oh, but he's probably
he looks the part.
He did. So did Kevin Conroy. The fact that Kevin Conroy got to play old Bruce in one of the CW shows was fucking amazing.
That was. Although I'm not crazy about the personality they went for in that. I was kind of hoping he would be more Batman Beyond Bruce Wayne, but
no, they were going for a different Bruce. But the fact he got to do
it, he was basically just Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, that's fine. He got to play a Batman. That's all that matters.
That's true. Well, he played the best Batman, so I'm just gonna leave that there on the table.
Well, he is the best Batman.
This is true.
Mark
Hamill is the best Joker.
And Mark Hamill flat out said he will never play the Joker again because he's not doing it without Kevin. Which is fine. It's okay.
But so I'm close to the end of season 2 on that. So I'm pretty far in because season 2 is double the length of the other 2 seasons. So I'm good 3/4 of the way through.
Season 2 was where they thought the show was going to go somewhere, and then Warner Brothers was like, nah. Justice League.
Yeah, well, that tended to happen a lot in general.
Ratings went down.
It's not like they couldn't have more than one series going at it. I mean, they had more than one series going at a time.
They did. It wasn't. that it wasn't the fact they had multiple series; it was the ratings weren't doing well, so they canceled it.
Yeah, well, Static Shock had fantastic ratings, and it still got canceled. So,
Sure did.
and you think Batman would be like one of those cheat ones? It's just like it doesn't matter. It's Batman.
Yeah, Beyond was, believe it or not, Beyond was a hard sell because it was
Weird.
basically Batman Spider-Man. That's kind of what it was.
Oh, so we combined the two most popular fucking superheroes and made it okay, and that's a problem.
Well, yes, because it's not Batman or Spider-Man; it's a new thing, and new
That's
things.
okay.
I mean, it did well for a while. Unfortunately,
I loved it as a kid.
the problem is I think they had plans for other things, and Justice League took priority.
I mean, I guess.
Also, time slots were so stupid back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
They put on a stupid time slot, I remember, because that was still back when it was like the WB, like Kids WB. Do you remember when that was still a thing?
Oh yeah.
You had to watch your Dragon Ball and your Yu-Gi-Oh on there, like for a long time.
Yeah, actually, I actually saw on Facebook like a couple days ago that the dude who plays Terry McGinnis just turned 50.
Oh, Will Friedle.
Yes.
Yeah, he. I like his acting, but he made an ass of himself recently, and it's kind of hard to support him right now.
Did he?
He was one of the biggest defenders of the guy that did from the Quiet on the Set, the Nickelodeon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the biggest defenders until
At the time or recently.
Well, he's gotten really quiet ever since the info came out. He hasn't really acknowledged it, so that's not a great sign.
Well, I mean,
it's silence is not helping his case. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, a lot of times silence is the best option.
And not in this case, where there's just more and more stuff coming out, and it's kind of like you gotta say.
I mean, I don't.
At least acknowledge you fucked up. At least acknowledge you didn't know or something.
I don't know all the details, so I can't speak firmly about it. But he was a very young man at the time, so it could have just been a situation of like naivete,
But from what I've read, it's a bit it's complicated. So
I'm not saying it isn't. Again, I don't know all the details, but I'll at least give him the benefit of the doubt with my lack of knowledge.
Either way, it's a thing. It's kind of I saw it and I went, eh. So
that's fair. But yeah, aside from that, and I also just gotta say this too. The music in Batman Beyond is fucking great.
It is.
Late 90s. It sounds like a mix of like Jeff Williams, who did the music for like Ruby and like the later Red vs. Blue stuff, and like Bruce Faulkner combined.
Oh, so fun fact about Will Friedle. Do you know what his other most famous voice is?
What's that?
Ron Stoppable from Kim Possible.
About right.
That's just funny. That's just funny to me. He was also Blue Beetle in Batman Brave and the Bold.
Huh.
That's funny. That's another cartoon that's supposedly really good.
Yeah, I never get it the time of day. I'm sure I'll watch it later though. I still don't think nothing will ever top how fucking like when I actually like started looking into voice actors and stuff, and I was looking up the whole cast of Death Note. I was like, what else have you guys been in? And it was like all fucking My Little Pony shit.
Yes, the Ocean cast after they stopped getting hired for American productions.
It was like legit all My Little Pony and like things of that nature. I was like, oh, okay.
It's the same if you look at the Inuyasha cast or like the Ocean Dragon Ball cast. It's like, oh, I see.
Well, that's the thing is there are people in both of those camps that are in the Death Note dub.
Yeah.
Yeah, a character we'll be talking about later who's played by the actor who played Moroku.
Yes. Yep. R.I.P. Yeah, it is. It's always funny. Most of those actors have just they're stuck in Canadian stuff. The only one that's really broken out that I know is like David Kay. But that's because he moved to Cali and he's a fucking huge voice actor now.
But yeah, aside from that, I finished Gotham Knights. It was all right. I think beginning to end, it was good. I liked what they did with it, like how they kind of took the Court of Owls storyline and kind of did their own spin on it, and using mostly original characters actually worked to its benefit. The only thing that, like, the main thing that I could really latch onto as a downside to that show is the fact that it was very clearly, like, the way it was left off, it was setting up for another season that it never got. But if they had just closed it out in a way that like made it like kind of like the first season of Superman and Lois, where it easily could have ended there. If they had done it that way, it would have been a lot more solid. But overall, I liked it. I thought it was good.
Just curious, when you say original characters, who are you referring to?
Like all like the Gotham Knights themselves.
Those are all comic characters that have been around. Most of them, anyways, other than Turner.
Duella's a comic character?
Oh yeah, she ain't popular. She's not. That's Joker's daughter. She ain't popular at all.
Yeah, well, that was actually a twist in that show, is that she turns out she wasn't actually Joker's daughter.
Would you believe her first appearance was 1976?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they were just digging deep then.
Yeah. I mean, Carrie Kelly's from 1986. Harper Row is from 2011.
I thought these were all original characters. I'd never heard any of them.
Cullen Rowe apparently is also from the New 52, but was an extremely minor character. Stephanie Brown's a very old character. She's been around since 92. I mean, Harvey Dent, obviously. Brody March, I think, is a original character, so maybe him. Yeah, because I was like, original characters. I thought they used a bunch of random D-listers.
Yeah, that's okay.
Why they use Carrie Kelly, I'm never going to be sure about, because that's a completely alternate universe. Like,
well, I mean, the context of the show makes it very clear that it's very alternate.
True, but she's from The Dark Knight Returns, like the Frank Miller book. Like, that's a very odd choice, especially because he's usually not thrilled about his characters being used in other things. He probably honestly wasn't. But Frank Miller is a complicated person. So.
But yeah, no, in the show Duella, it turned out by the end of it wasn't the Joker's daughter.
Well, yeah, that's her whole gimmick.
She was Harvey Dent's daughter.
Yeah.
Which is where the whole Duella name comes from.
Yeah, that's a comic thing, and she's never been a particularly popular character. She's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean, the show itself was fine. I didn't have any serious gripes with it.
That one was it kind of appeared and then no one noticed it kind of thing.
You can kind of tell.
Yeah.
But I'm only a few episodes in, but I started watching Stargirl. Not totally sure how I feel about it yet.
I forget that they made so many of these goddamn shows.
I wasn't expecting Luke Wilson to be a main character.
Yeah.
Also, it was a brief cameo, but Henry Thomas was in it.
Was he?
Yeah. Thought that was interesting.
Oh.
He
Luke Wilson plays a character called Stripe, who's debuted in 1941. The more you know. Well, they really did actually use a lot of characters that existed. Yeah.
Well, where I left off, she was like stealing all the like magic items and shit that the JSA just had in their old headquarters, because they're all dead at the point where the show starts. So she just like takes all of their like special items and tools and stuff, and she's like essentially going to try and form a new JSA. So I don't know. I am cautiously optimistic. It has 3 seasons, so obviously it didn't totally suck out the gate. So
yeah, no, she's been around for quite a bit. Like 99, I think, was her debut.
I've been aware of Stargirl as a character for a little bit, but like, I mean, it's a CW show, so I know it's not going to be like super accurate, but
she kind of like most of her big stuff is in like the JSA series. Yeah, she had a few appearances in Justice League Unlimited and stuff, I believe as well.
Makes sense.
God, comics are so complicated.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I haven't really. I mean, I watched the ongoings.
I'm behind on anime again.
Well, I only have 3 episodes a week to watch, so it's easy to keep up.
I only have one, so I have no excuse.
Oh, so did I mention last week about how the Carl book that I'm on introduced a card battling system?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking it's wild. It's getting fucking weird.
You don't say.
You barely scratched the surface with a little bit of the graphic novel that you've read. I am looking forward to getting deeper into that with you and seeing if how much your opinion changes on it and which direction it goes.
We'll see. It's gonna be a bit because those doesn't look like those things are gonna be quickly released.
No, but the next one does come out in I think October, so it's not too far to the next one, at least. So it's not too bad.
Did I read anything else? Oh, I started reading the next Superman. So I'm finally starting to dig into like the DC KO stuff. Mm-hmm. And the way they did it was there's the main DC KO book, but then there was a ton of tie-ins, and I'm kind of waiting for all the tie-ins to show up. And I got the Superman tie-in, and I've been reading that, and they brought back Superboy Prime recently.
Oh, which when was he around?
Superboy Prime is complicated. Let me bring up the brief history.
I know there's numerous iterations of Superboy, and I'm familiar with a couple of them, but
Superboy Prime is his own mess. Let's just say, no, not Wikipedia. I didn't want Super Prime. I wanted Superboy Prime. There he is. Okay, so Superboy Prime is technically debuted in 1985. He was originally the Superboy of... He was an alternate version of Superboy from one of the many multiverses. I think the Earth Prime is what it was called at the time. He had a big part in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then he vanished for years until he was brought back in Infinite Crisis, which was another crossover. That was in
the 2000s, right?
That was 2005 to 6. That wasn't a reboot. That was just kind of a restructuring of canon because DC needs to do that all the time because their canon's annoying. And basically, he comes back as the characters from the Silver Age have been locked away in like a pocket dimension, and they think the DC universe is too dark now, so they're gonna go and fix it. And it's a whole thing. Superboy Prime ends up going insane and becomes a villain for a while. He's sporadically, basically, he was an allegory for toxic fandom for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, but then he had a redemption arc during Dark Knight's Death Metal, where he saved the multiverse and got to return to his home reality, apparently. But now he's actually been revealed recently that he's back, and he's been in a pocket dimension this entire time, and he's now. So, fun fact: for until recently, he was actually he was acting as the Superman in the Superman book for like an arc, and it was ridiculous in like the best way possible because the current writer Joshua Williamson is fucking nailing it with the character. Because basically, they've made him like his entire gimmick now is that he's reformed, he's just a comic nerd, and he just breaks the fourth wall, not in the Deadpool style, but in like the in this like he basically in like that comic nerd style where like one of the best lines is like when Clark runs into him again, he's all like, it's like, why should I trust you? You killed people. Because Superboy Prime killed a lot of mainline characters. And Superboy Prime's response is literally, please, that was 2 reboots ago. All those characters are back, so what does it matter anymore? And it's just like, he constantly does shit like that. It's hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
it's been very interesting to see. It's like this character is such an enigma. Like the whole reason they're bringing him back is because he is such an enigma to the timeline that like the villains of the DCK arc can't really figure him out. So he's kind of like a loophole that they can use.
Hmm.
It's bizarre though. The whole thing is just ridiculous.
Comics.
They're fucking weird.
Hmm.
Wait until you read Under the Red Hood. You'll get even more of an introduction to Prime in that.
Oh yeah.
And you'll probably be messaging me being like, "What the fuck did I just read?"
Even just you going on that little tangent was like confusing me because I was like, wait, because the Nightwing comic I read, the Superboy of that universe was the current Superman, and I'm just like, I have no idea what's happening.
They can't decide whether they want to make Clark Superboy when he was younger or not. Like they flip flop on that. Currently in current canon, Clark was Superboy as a child, in Smallville, and he grew up as into Superman. They've made that canon again, but sometimes it's not canon, depending on the writer and the whatever fucking reset they're on.
Everything is canon.
Kinda now it is, because they don't reboot anymore. They've only technically rebooted twice, and both have been kind of undone, sorta. Not really, but we're kind of in this weird like we're post crisis, but like we're allowed to use basically any canon if it suits the story now.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. the entire universe is. They'll do another like big event where they'll basically just clean shit up because that's what they do with most of their crises. They just use them to clean stuff, like fix things.
I see.
Because freaking, it's one of the problems Marvel's having right now. Because Marvel's never really done a reboot, like a proper one. Mm-hmm. So it's always kind of like they have so much continuity they have to deal with.
Oh.
Comics.
Speaking of comics and comic related things, I messaged you about it earlier this week, but the Netflix Yu Yu Hakusho is getting a sequel.
See, I wish they had,
just made a regular length season.
Yeah, and not like crammed all of that into. I mean, it's cool, I guess.
Well, considering all the arcs that they stuffed into that one little 5-episode set, I'm sure you can guess what this sequel is going to be about.
I'm guessing it's going to be all the fun stuff right after.
Yep.
And how they do that, we'll see. Maybe they'll try to shove Three Kings in there.
No, it's Three Kings.
Oh, it's just Three Kings? They're going to ignore it? Or are they going to shove everything in between?
What do you mean? Everything that came before Three Kings was stuffed into those 5 episodes in some way, shape, or form.
Even like the stuff directly after the Dark Tournament?
Yeah, like the whole like the bugs coming out and biting people, and the hole appearing in the ground, and like they weaved a lot of Chapter Black stuff into that.
Yeah. They must have done it so poorly that I forgot. Because yeah.
Well, I mean, they were definitely putting most of their focus on like the Hiei Karama introduction and the Toguro stuff is what, like, that was like the main thing that they built everything around. But they added elements from other arcs and threw them in there too.
I wonder if they're gonna find a way. So if they're doing Three Kings, I wonder if they're just gonna find a way to shove like Kuwabara into it, just so that his actor can actually do something.
I have to imagine. Because it's not like, dude, he used his sword twice. If he's just left out, I'm gonna be pissed.
I'll cautiously check it out when it comes out. Did you see the other big anime related news drop that came out today?
Today? I don't.
So it was announced.
Something about it.
They announced the director from Wit Studio that's doing the One Piece announced that it's not a remake, it's a reboot.
Okay, what's the difference?
We don't know. He was not clear at all. Essentially, it sounds like they're starting over and doing their own take.
I mean,
what
that
does
can
that
mean? A million different things.
Exactly. And everyone's just literally, the entire internet was just like, huh? Like, yeah. You're doing what? And they're like, it's not a remake, it's a reboot, new show. And I'm just like,
Sure.
Explain, please.
Elaborate. I need more information.
I think it's a way of him just saying, we're not going to do the same thing this time. It's going to be different, which everyone assumed, but...
I mean, it was always going to be different, but it just depends on what you define as different.
Exactly. And nobody knows.
I guess we'll see when the time comes. I'm sure Alex will point out everything that's wrong as you watch it.
Yes. Yeah. And then the only other news I saw was this was kind of like a subtle, like quiet announcement, but Crunchyroll announced that they have bought the exclusive rights to release the next Makoto Shinkai film, which basically just confirmed he's making a new film.
I thought we already knew that.
It hadn't been confirmed. We just assumed. Now it's been basically confirmed. Yeah, he's making a movie.
I feel like we had a conversation about this. That it was going to be like a fantasy type of thing. No,
I don't remember this, so
it was a while ago. If the conversation I'm thinking of actually happened the way I'm thinking, it was like a while ago that we had this talk. But I feel like we talked about this. Not the Crunchyroll part of it, but the fact that he was making another movie and like a vague shape of what it was going to be.
If it was so long ago, I just don't remember.
That's fair. That's exciting, though. It's exciting.
Yeah.
No, the past couple that he's made have been fantastic. So, if he keeps up the same level of quality, it should be a banger.
See, I just wonder if it's going to be like, because he followed Your Name up with Weathering with You, and as much as I like Weathering with You, it definitely was kind of a step back from Your Name, which made Suzume all the more better. I'm just wondering how he's going to top Suzume.
I still liked Weathering with You, though. I thought it was good.
It's a great movie. I hate the ending, though, because the ending is so...
It's better than 5 centimeters per second.
Well, that movie's just depressing. Well, no, see, Weathering with You, the
like,
whole...
Ew, life.
Yeah, that whether 5 centimeters per second is too real. Also, if we had seen that when it actually came out, it probably would have had more of an impact.
That's fair.
No, but like, I was watching that, and like the whole time, I'm just because you watch Weathering with You, and you're like, oh damn, that's such a sad ending. And then he just basically like, oh, he's just gonna fuck the rest of the world just because he's horny. Cool.
Sure.
That's basically what the ending of that fucking movie is.
Hey, it's not as bad as Light Turner.
Yeah.
The things he did because he was horny.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's fun.
On that subject.
Yeah, let's get into it. We finished Death Note.
Hooray.
Well, at least we finished the main story.
We finally finished the 3 series we've been covering for almost 2 years.
Jesus Christ, it has been 2 years.
Yeah. We're covering 3 simultaneously, like
and they all happen to end right around the same time.
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it?
I mean, end in quotation marks because Dragon Ball Super is technically still going, but
yeah, technically, but
it's not canceled yet.
It's been 2 years and we still have no idea. So
they're probably waiting for the anime stuff to go through, I guess, and then they're gonna probably figure out what's next. I don't know. We'll find out.
If we're getting an anime that's gonna more closely follow the manga, and we're gonna wait for the manga to come back out until it's done. Like what?
I mean, maybe he's cooking right now, and we'll have a bunch of shit to release once they get there.
Maybe. It's a monthly release manga, though, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it
took 2 years. It took 2 years for Moro to come to a close.
True. Honestly, it's probably more of a case of just they're still dealing with probably legal stuff right now.
For 2 years, though,
you'd be amazed how long that shit can get dragged out.
That's crazy, especially with a cash cow like Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Was Toriyama married?
Yeah.
Okay. That usually when it comes to like there's extended families like that, that's kind of why things will get dragged out because there's probably a whole bunch of fucking red tape they gotta go through.
I think the estate got passed to his son.
Okay. I mean, it might be his son. You never know. Nothing's really been talked about, so nobody knows.
But I know his son. At least to my knowledge, he isn't a writer or an artist like Toriyama was. So who knows?
Yeah.
But anyways, we're talking about the wrong manga.
Yeah. So we finished Death Note, the final couple, basically the final arc, I guess you could say.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, because I really liked the place that we left off last time because we opened up here with the introduction of one of my favorite characters in the series, which I feel like he didn't stick around for nearly long enough.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm forgetting names. It's Teru, right?
Yeah, Teru Mikami.
Ex-Kira. Delete.
Yeah. And we actually get a flashback backstory on him, which I think this is the only time we ever get that. We didn't get that with anyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure why that is. Why did we need one for him? But I'm glad we got it because it adds so much context to his character, especially with how little time we spend with him.
Yeah, he really, in the grand scheme of things, is such a blip on the entire story.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at it in universe terms, he's only around for a couple months. At the very end.
And the way his arc kind of finishes is very huh. You just kind of.
He's also the reason Light lost.
I mean, let's be real here. Light was the reason Light lost because he got too fucking cocky.
Well, he was too cocky from fucking day one when he first wrote Lindell Taylor in the Death Note. So that was, if he had just not written that name, that one name, all of this could have been avoided, and he could have just remained under the radar. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
he had to throw the gauntlet.
The back passage on one of the volumes is literally all so Light's on top of the world, but now he's managing all these things. Is he getting a little too cocky to keep this together? And I'm just Somebody made. I saw a joke comment where someone was like, "Light's downfall is he got horny for the one time in the entire show series."
Yeah, that is true. Although he still didn't care about it enough to not kill her. So
that was darker in the anime than it was in the manga. The manga, she kind of just dies off screen.
Yeah, well, because the way the anime handles it is they make the whole thing so emotional because you're also getting the voiceover, you're getting the tone of voice and everything, and then when you get her where she's just locked into the back of a truck and she had to punch through the window to get to the phone so she could call him, and she's all bloody and shit. She's naked because Mello made her strip, and then she has to fucking burn herself to death. It's pretty fucked.
Yeah,
and she's she knows it's coming. That's the fucked up thing.
Yeah, but then in the manga, it's just it just happens off screen, and you're like, oh, great. It's huh. The manga did certain things better, but then
for sure,
the anime did a lot better.
That was actually something I noticed on this read through. Is a lot of the story issues I had with this section of the story in the anime are explained differently in the manga in a way that make a lot more sense. Things like the reason why Light stopped using cameras with his meetings with Takeda, or how Nier was able to figure out that Mikami was the guy, and in the anime, they were explained so poorly that it just didn't make any sense. And it was the first point in the whole series up to that point where I was like, this isn't well thought out. Where's my Death Note? But it's not really that way in the manga.
Also in the manga, I noticed right toward in these last few chapters, Misa is basically just kind of an artifact at this point.
A lot of the major characters are honestly, from where we start reading for this section, Aizawa is kind of the main character.
Yeah, kind of, because Light is just there.
And I was thinking about the conversation we had in our last episode about Death Note, and I think part 2 of Death Note would be a lot more universally liked if we really think about it. The second L dies, like
That's where the story peaks. Like that's
well, that's what
like
I'm saying.
literally.
L dies, Light wins. He pretty much has run of the world for like, what 5-6 years, and like he wins. He's on top. He is running everything. He is L. He is Kira. He is the fucking police guy. He's got it all. He wins. So what they should have done is from that point forward, if we were going to continue the series, Light is no longer the main character. We should have only been looking at the story through the eyes of like the normies on the task force, Mir and Mello. And any light we have, period, should have been through their eyes.
Yeah.
Like
honestly,
no internal monologues, nothing. Just completely outside perspective.
It honestly would have made it honestly would have made like his entire downfall at the end so much more interesting if it kind of just comes in at towards the end. Like you aren't like you didn't see this whole buildup happen just for it all to fucking implode right at the end.
Yeah, and then that would also it would kind of be an extension of the whole when he didn't have his memory part, but it would also humanize Light more in a way because we all know what we know about Light, right? At this point,
I was just gonna say it's very interesting when the more you read this manga, the more you realize there is no hero in this manga. This manga is literally all villains, really, when you think about it.
The hero got shot to death.
Oh yeah, yeah. Light's dad. He was literally the only genuinely decent person in this series.
Except maybe Matsuda.
Yeah, I don't count the kind of out of focus characters because so many of them are they're only about relevant when they need to be sometimes, I swear. Like that's the problem with the second half is like they don't know there's too many characters now and they don't know what to do with them. Like that's kind of the problem I had.
Yeah. Well,
because like the amount of times one would pop up and I'd be like, fuck, who was this guy again? And I'm like looking it up because I'm like, I actually have to go grab volume 13 and be like, explain, sir.
Well, that's another reason why, like, I think focusing, like, looking at the story from other characters' perspectives exclusively from that point forward, especially because, like I was saying, by this point, we know Light, we know what he's about, we know what he's done. But if we get to a point where we shift to other people's perspectives and we're only seeing him through their eyes, it would have kind of tricked the audiences into forgetting how fucked up he is because we'd only be seeing what they see. So, like, yeah, with characters like Nier and Aizawa, like, yeah, they get their suspicions and they just get worse and worse as it goes on. But we're still seeing what they are seeing. So, yeah, there's going to be some sketchy shit here and there. But for the most part, he comes across as a very good dude.
Yeah, because like one of the big things too that I think the manga does so much better than the anime is all the Nier stuff, like him playing with his Legos. Like,
yeah,
that shit is like the most fascinating part of this final arc because it's like, damn, he is figuring this out in the most fucking roundabout way possible, and it's like you're like, what is going on in that mind? Because it's like L, but even more bizarre, and that's kind of what makes it interesting.
Also, just gotta throw this out there. How does he know what L looks like? Because he was wearing a mask that was designed to look like L. How does he know what he looks like? It was established many times that none of these motherfuckers have ever met him personally.
Maybe he saw a photo after he died.
No photos. He doesn't have any photos. Is a very specific thing that they made a point of saying over and over is there are no photos. Nobody knows where he's from. Nobody knows nothing about him. The only one who knows nothing about him is Watari. They made a huge thing about this early on. Nobody knows. Even long before Kira was even a thing, he was an enigma. Nobody knew what he looked like.
In those 6 years, I guess something leaked. I don't know. That's like the only thought I could really have. It's probably not important.
I'm just
saying. Guess.
I mean, I guess I know it was supposed to be like a symbolic thing, but like it still doesn't make any sense. How does he know? How do you know?
Maybe the artist and the writer weren't exactly 100% on the same page, I guess, at that point. I don't know.
But Light even makes a comment about it.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Either way.
Also, I have to say, Mello's like exists for this final arc. Like he's just he's there for that one real thing, and then he just fucks off to wherever.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was popping in and out like shortly before the end of the last section we read, because it was a whole thing where he led. Was it Aizawa or Mogi? He led one of them to Nier's place and kind of like pretty much set this like. Nier may have been the guy who was like really setting things up so that he could knock it all down, but Mello forged the path for him, like without question.
I think it's just because like by this point though, like because it's been so long since we read that now, I'm like he kind of just showed up and I was like, oh yeah, this guy. Who's this guy again? I had to look it up. I'm like, right, this guy.
Yeah. I love how in the epilogue chapter that we get because throughout the entire story, it was always a very clear thing that like Nier had like the toy thing and Mello liked his chocolate. But in the epilogue, once everything was said and done, it was a year later. He's like Nier's chilling. He's L now, and he's got all of his toys around him, but he's eating a bar of chocolate. I like that. It's like kind of like the little like, you know, we've kind of merged in a way, you know.
Yeah, I did kind of enjoy the scene of anytime you see like the whole group together and like you got L's there, not L, Light's there. You just
he is L by this point, so I mean,
True.
either way, you're not
wrong. You just get a freaking like anytime they show like a group shot, you just got Ryuk chilling there, and I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was also kind of like a non-entity in this.
No,
section.
he just
got
vibes.
like 2 lines into the last bit.
He vibes the entire time, and then like he has the big moment at the end, and that's really about it.
Yeah.
It's almost like they kind of got to the end, and they were kind of rushing it together. It feels like.
Well, I know it was a thing because it was. I don't remember the significance of it, but I know he wanted it to be 108 chapters exactly. So maybe he was just stretching it out a little bit, or maybe he like was setting stuff up to stretch it out, and then he realized that he didn't have enough room he needed to finish it off in a way that he want. I don't know.
He stretched it out too far, and he realized shit.
Either way, like I struggle with this because I do like the way it ends. I think the ending is fucking wild, and it works so well for the characters, but at the same time, like this idea of how it should have been that I've been building up in my head since like the last time, like pretty much throughout this entire coverage that we've been doing, has just kind of overtaken my mind, and I just keep thinking of how much better that story would have been.
Yeah. The thing that kind of gets me with this entire series, like story, is the fact that like in the grand scheme of things, when you really think about it, after this is all over, it's kind of just like, yeah, that was just a thing that happened for like a few years, like maybe like 10 years, and then it just moved on.
Yeah, it was because I think at the beginning of the story, it's like 2004, and so it's about 6-7 years.
Yeah, it's like that was just a weird thing that happened for like 7 years, and then it just ends, and it's like, well, that was weird. Moving on with life, I guess.
Well, hey, I mean, at least all like the worst people around are already dead. So, like, yeah, crime's gonna go back up, but oh well.
Yeah, Light is such a weird fucking character because he's not a hero by any means. He's honestly a straight up villain, but like he's a villain. It's like the worst person you know makes a really great point kind of character.
Is it kind of fucked up that I feel like Light is a more straight up villain than Eren by the end of Attack on Titan? Even though Eren commits literal genocide, I still feel like he's a better person than Light.
Because Eren, the thing, Attack on Titan, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, but Eren's whole thing is like he basically gets this vision from like that one moment, and he basically he thinks he's doing the right thing, regardless of how you view it. It's hit or miss there, but like Light is just straight up doing bad things in the set, which he thinks is good. It's bizarre. It's like Aaron, you could at least make the excuse. Well, Aaron, like you see from moments that he is a generally good person. He's just doing what he thinks he has to do.
Yeah, and Light just has straight up delusions of grandeur. Like
Light's
he's literally calling himself a god from day one.
Yeah, Light's a villain from the start. Like, there's no like build up to this. It's pretty much from the start. He is a straight up villain.
I mean, he isn't. There is a build up to it because, like, at the beginning, like the first, pretty much up until the point where he kills Naomi. Like, I still like hold to like, no, he was actually trying to do a good thing. It wasn't like, yeah, he said the whole thing about being bored and that he was going to be a god and everything, but like, I do truly believe that at that point in time, he had the best of intentions, and somewhere along the way, he kind of got lost in it. And that's another reason why the anime version of the ending, the anime version of his death scene, like sticks out to me so much as such a perfect ending, because it, like, I know we talked about doing it like an anime episode later, but the way that ends with him like trying to run away, like he's riddled with fucking bullet holes and he's trying to run away before fucking Ryu can write his name, and he gets that like vision of himself before he got the death note, and kind of has that like silent moment of self-reflection.
Yeah.
You know, of like, you know, this is who I used to be, and like, who knows where I could have gone if this notebook had, you know what I mean? Like, because the evidence is clear from the point where he loses his memory. Yeah. Like, circumstances being what they were turned him into what he became. But at the beginning, he was just a good guy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what makes this story so compelling. It really shows just how thin and blurry that line between good intention and evil action is.
Yeah, it's kind of it's so weird because like the way it ends in the manga is so kind of underwhelming.
It is and it isn't. Again, like, I feel like as much as I love that anime ending, him just kind of like writhing and spitting at the world like a worm on the ground is just so fitting for what he is by the end of the series. Like, he literally, like, it's just like Nier said, you are just a crazy serial killer. And that's exactly what he shows.
Like, he could have, like, the thing that gets me is like the whole, like, he could have just like stopped once he defeated L and actually just used that. But
I mean, realistically, the smart thing to do would have been to kill the whole task force along with L. That would have been the smart thing. I don't know why he left him alive. I think it was just because his dad was still alive and he didn't want to kill his dad. I think that's the only reason.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is just kind of a mess the way it is. I will say, like, I did enjoy as much as I don't think it hits as hard as the anime does. I did enjoy like the ending where he's like, Ryuki, write the name. You could do it. And Ryuki's like, oh yeah, I'll write the name. Your name fooled you. And I'm just like that's funny, but like not nearly as poetic as the other one.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that Matsuda's the one to fucking snap.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that. And it sucks because it fucking hurts because you like Matsuda so much as a character. And he was always like the happy-go-lucky chipper. And by the end, when we're in the epilogue, he's like this, like, nihilistic, you know, super, like, just done with the world kind of fucking dude. And it's sad to see, but like that like loss of innocence at realizing that the person that he thought was a close friend and ally, and also like he looked up to Light in a lot of ways, and that really fucking broke him.
Yes.
Especially since he was the only one on the task force who, like, even in some small degree, kind of got what Kira was about. Even though he didn't agree with it, he got it.
Yes.
So, like, the fact that he was the one to snap, I think it was Light's dad. That was the big thing that pushed him over the edge. Is like realizing that, like, the hand Light had in Soichiro's death, like, especially in the anime, that moment is so fucking moving.
Yeah, the entire thing in the anime is like, in the manga they really let him talk a lot longer than I expected. Like Light gives his whole like manifesto speech in like the manga before they actually retaliate. In the anime, it's like, no, it's pretty quick. They all turn on him pretty fast.
Yeah. You know, I think it's funny too, because I realized it as I was reading it. More than half of that final volume is just the last episode of the anime.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Which is wild. It's a lot. It's a lot of it. Pretty much for the second, Mikami's counting down or counting up to 40.
Yes.
Up to Light's death. That's the final episode.
Yeah. Damn. Poor Misa. She gets just kind of like thrown to the corner by the end of this.
We have no idea what happens with her in the manga. In the anime, they kind of
imply that she's basically gonna die.
They implied that she killed herself.
Yeah.
But in the manga, the last we see of her is just her being like, "Yeah, Light, they put me up in this swanky hotel room. I'll see you later." And then we never hear or see from her again.
Because that wasn't her in that final page, right?
I don't think so.
Because I was like, that doesn't look like her, but it could be. Is it explained who those people are at all, or is it
just leftover Kira worshippers? People.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Just people who still believe in Kira and hope that he'll come back.
Do they ever follow up on like Light's parent, like mom and sister?
No.
Okay, so his sister's just traumatized for the rest of her life, and his mom is whatever at this point.
I like to hope she goes to therapy and works her way through it eventually, but
gets better. Like, isn't just perpetually
we don't know, so we don't know, so whatever.
Yeah, that was a dark moment as well. That really there's a lot of shit that doesn't get followed up on. That's kind of one of my gripes with the ending.
No, there was a sequel, like a short story, because there was the one that came out a few years ago, but there was another one that came out before that. That was like, because there was 2 more people who got death notes after Light died.
And those are in the short stories collection, right? Okay.
Yes. They were both short-lived incidents. I only read the more recent one. I haven't read the older one. And I don't know if it ever goes into what happened with Light's family.
Okay.
Or Misa, for that matter.
Yeah.
But also, who knows? Maybe they fucking arrested her. Who knows? I mean, just because she doesn't remember doesn't mean she didn't do it. You know?
Yeah. Is there evidence, though, pointing towards her, or does she just kind of...
Not hard proof, no. But they all know.
Yeah.
So, just one of those things where they weren't going to fucking bring Light in and report the notebook either. They were gonna pretty much like, just lock him in a fucking basement somewhere. So, if Ryuk hadn't killed him, that would have been fucking miserable.
I think he was gonna die either way. He wasn't. Well, the anime, they made it very clear he was on his way out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean. Yeah, he was pretty fucked up.
The amount of lead in that man by the end, because he gets fucking blown up in the anime. The manga, it's not as dramatic.
It is. He still gets shot up.
He does, but like the anime, they like made it like he was how he walked out of there. I don't know.
Well, that's exactly why that was an anime only scene. That did not happen in the manga. He was down and he was not moving.
Yeah. And Ryuk was like, "Fooled you." I did like the scene with Nier where like they were meeting and Nier looks up and he just sees Ryuk standing there. He's like, ah, I got you.
Yeah, that was also great. The reveal is like, oh yeah, the notebooks had been in my shirt this whole time. By the way, I've seen the Shinigami since the moment you guys got here. So any sort of argument you have, instantly null.
I love that he just starts chatting with Ryuk too, and Ryuk's like, "What's up?"
He's like, I'll answer your questions. I don't give a fuck. You got any apples?
I'm not really on his side. Like,
this is just my reality TV show.
if anything, Ryuk is like the true neutral of the story because he's kind of he just vibes the entire story when you really think about it.
Oh, for sure, and that's part of why we love him so much. Maybe that's another part of the reason why this section of the series gets so much flack is Ryuk is kind of like a non-character throughout the whole thing.
The best part of the early like portions was just Ryuk being that fucking snarky asshole the entire time.
Yeah, just him shucking up in the background as shit was going on. He's like so like I honestly forgot about him as I was reading this because he's so like not there. We see him give the notebook to Mikami, and I think he makes one comment when some sort of thing is happening in the investigation, and then he doesn't fucking say a single word until their confrontation with Nier.
Yeah.
So between that, the fact that Misa like wasn't around at all, except for like her weird dinner with Takada.
Yeah, that whole thing was weird. Like everything about that was like, okay.
Like also, so we haven't really talked about Takada much.
She just kind of exists. She exists because Light got horny. That's like really about it.
It is interesting that the author decided to bring back this random bit character from like volume 2.
Yeah. To the point where I thought she was original. And I was like, oh, right.
No, we actually Light was actually walking with her on the college campus one of the times that Elle approached him.
Right. Oh yeah.
I think it might have been when he first was like, "Hey, let's go play tennis."
That scene is so glorious in the anime just because of the performance of Elle's voice actor in the anime.
Yeah.
He is so not what I was expecting that character to sound like.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it because it's so. It shouldn't work, but it does.
I love the voice actor for Elle in the anime. Actually, like, that's another reason why I love the live action Japanese movies so much, is because they use this. Almost everyone from the dub cast comes back.
That's fun. Honestly, the only dub cast person that I couldn't take after a long period of time was Misa's VA.
That's who she did the ditzy little girl voice the whole time, and that does get old fast.
I feel like that should have only been like used for like specific moments, but the problem is she used it the whole time, and I was like, by the end, I was like, for the love of God.
Well, that's because ditzy little girl is just her whole personality. Because like even when I forget, I think it was Giovanni was tailing her for a little while, and he's like, I can't tell if she's 14 or 30. It's like
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's just like Jesus Christ. But that's just part of her personality, I guess.
Yeah. No, the guy that plays Elle though, it's like that voice shouldn't work, but it does, and that's kind of why you like it.
Mm-hmm. It adds to his character. That's one of the reasons why the dub of the anime is like that's one of the best dubs ever, in my opinion. It's just done so well. Like there are points where like there's gonna be some overacting because it's just anime. That's how it is. But like the way like the performances, like even like L's or not L Light's his like I'm finally admitting everything laugh at the end, and Matsuda yelling at him and shooting him, and like there's so many different points throughout that just fucking hit.
Yeah. It's definitely it's one of the better Ocean dubs. I'm gonna look up the voice actors again because I know it's pretty much all the mainstays.
Yeah, and the music in the Death Note anime slaps.
Also, Brian Drummond as Ryuk is like fucking perfect casting.
Yeah, that's legendary. Legendary.
Yeah, a lot of the Ocean like mainstays were in this. And a lot of bit parts. Oh yeah, Kirby Mora was Teru.
Yep.
Damn.
Oh yeah, no, I picked up on that. Like as soon as I watched Inuyasha for the first time, and then went back to Death Note, I was like, oh, that's Moroku. It's like there's no question. As soon as you hear him, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
Especially since he's going on and on about God, and Moroku was a priest. So
Yeah. No, it's so funny when you click on any of these VAs and it's like a lot of Canadian programming I see.
mm-hmm. For sure. But yeah, I still hold to what we said before that the manga version of Part 2 is definitely far superior because it shows Nier and Mellow in kind of a different light.
It definitely helps their case because in the anime I could not give a crap about either of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have warmed on them over time. I think a lot of the reason why people are bitter about them in the first place is just that they're not L, which I get.
L's death is so abrupt, especially the fact that it's literally right in the middle of this fucking story.
Yeah, yeah, like literally, it's like episode 20, like 24 or something. It's like right in the middle.
It's also like the fact that it's like right when it happens is so brutal too because it's literally like Light L finally like fully trusts Light and he's all like perfect and it's like psych you're dead.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh
well, trusting him is a strong way of putting it. I don't think L really trusted him ever. I think L was pretty straight on, like, I know it's you the entire time.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody trusts anybody in this show, like at all.
The whole foot massage scene, that was anime only. I don't know whose decision that was, but
everything about L in the anime is like 3 times creepier than it needs to be, and that's kind of the point.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what he's supposed to be, a creeper. That's part of, like when he pickpockets Misa's phone, and then she's like, "Oh, some pervert touched my butt," and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, so stupid.
I love that scene. It's great.
Oh my god, yeah. Looking at the behind the voice actors thing for L's voice actor is something.
Yeah.
Because it's like what? Like it's like who?
Is it just somebody you don't know, or is it like a lot of different ones?
It's mostly like Canadian television and stuff. Like it's amazing how little anime some of these guys actually did.
I know. That's why I was so confused like the first time I actually looked it up.
Because I think even Light's VA isn't in it. Light's VA is apparently Baby Groot in some animated thing. The fuck?
Well, I know Light's VA played Adult Gohan in the Ocean dub of DBZ, and he was also a bit character at the beginning of Inuyasha.
Yes. Which one was it? I don't remember.
It was the one with the frog curse thing.
Right. Oh yeah, that
he was the guy who was simping over the girl, but she was simping over the frog.
Oh, Nabunga, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he exists. Sure. Oh, he was in Hamtaro. Okay, he did something.
Oh, great, Hamtaro. Which of the hams was he?
Maxwell. Apparently.
Sure, whoever that
is. my only real he was Kimba the White Lion.
Oh, good for him. Okay, interesting. I've always wanted to watch that.
I've heard it's good. It's a classic. He was the adolescent version. That's something.
Well, Kimba the White Lion is what Lion King ripped off. So
yeah. Oh, he was in Mega Man NT Warrior, that weird show that was based off of Battle Network. He played the main character. That wasn't Mega Man.
Interesting.
God damn. Behind the voice actors is literally like the biggest like rabbit hole you'll ever go down.
Yeah, no kidding. I've gone down that rabbit hole many times.
Because it's like so many connections. You're like, what? and then you can't unhear it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah.
So how did you feel about Matsuda's theory at the end?
You can jog my memory real quick.
He had this whole theory about how Nier had like written Mikami's name in the notebook ahead of time so that everything would fall in line the way he wanted it to, because Mikami died in jail like 10 days later.
Yeah.
Like, do you think there's any truth to that? Do you think Nier did that? Because supposedly after Light died, Nier immediately burned both notebooks. So there's no proof. So we don't actually know. Was Matsuda reaching just because he, like Ide said, is he reaching because he still has respect for Light, or is there any truth to it?
I think it might be a little of both, because Nier was like 12 steps ahead of the game, it seemed, a lot of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
But he might also be giving Light credit, because they, as much as Light's betrayal, like the betrayal, like is real with those guys. Like they were seriously hurt by that, even though it's like the red flags you could see from a mile away.
I mean, Aizawa had his suspicions in the first place, and then Ide was kind of new to the group because he was on the task force right up until they were about to meet L, and then when it was revealed that L was doing all this like crazy shit to test them, he was like, "All right, fuck this guy," and he left.
Right. Yep.
And he didn't come back until after the whole Yotsuba stuff. Like literally right before L died, he came back. So he wasn't there for like any of the detainment, any of the suspicion against Light. He wasn't there for any of that.
Yes.
He knows it happened, like in theory, but he isn't a witness to it. So I think mostly like Matsuda was. I think that was the big one because he was the only one who never suspected Light ever, and he was fully on his side the whole time, and like that. Like, I think Matsuda saw him as a brother in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and the betrayal.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not an easy thing to take. That can break somebody.
It is amazing though how it's like one tiny little fuck up just completely destroyed that entire everything.
I mean, he was walking on a tightrope throughout this whole series.
Yeah,
there were people like L and Nier, you know. And then
he had
Mello being the chaotic evil.
Yeah,
just fucking throwing a wrench in everybody's plans.
He had so many easy outs too, where he could have just said, "Okay, that's enough. I've got everything I need now." But no, he just couldn't let it go.
Nope. He had to prove he was the best and rub their nose in it because that's just the way he is.
It's kind of at the point where it's like this character that we've been following this whole time, when he does finally get defeated, you just don't feel bad. You're just like, yeah, you deserve that.
No, not in the manga at least. Like that scene in the anime, like as he's dying, like that. It's not even as he's dying. It's as he's running and he sees the fucking like past version of himself, like as he once was. Like that part hits.
See, because I binged the entire ending of the show, like when I did, I think I still had like the whole scene with his dad's death, like in fresh in my mind. So I just didn't feel bad. I was very much like, yeah, you deserve this.
That's fair. I mean, to be fair, he didn't personally kill his dad.
No, but like the thing that always bugged me is the fact that he was like, he cared more about getting the name than he did his dad dying. Like,
yes, I think that's true, but I do also think he was legitimately upset, and that yes, he was trying to use it to his advantage, but I do think he was like actually distraught over that.
See, that's kind of my issue with Light as a character in general, is the fact that like any point where his humanity still does kind of show, his priorities are so fucked. Like that it just, the whole thing just kind of it sours me on him because of that.
Well, you know you're a fucked up individual when you see yourself as both a god and a martyr. So
yeah,
you know you get some problems if you see both of that going on.
It says a lot about Misa too, because the only way she could ever be into that is if she also has a few screws loose. Which,
I mean, she did watch her whole family get murdered.
yeah, and she's a little out there as well.
And I think she was she like 14 when that happened. Yeah, that'll fuck somebody up.
Yeah, honestly, like it really is. Like there's aside from Light's dad, there really is no heroes in this.
I mean, honestly,
series.
I think Mikami is the only one that like really. There's no rhyme or reason for him being his level of fucked up. He just kind of is. But at the same time, he's such an interesting character. Because when it's going through his whole backstory and it's talking about how like he always had a strong sense of justice, he always stood up for the underdog, and he would be fucking like brutally bullied for standing up for what he believes in. He got beat up every day. He got stripped naked, hung up from a tree, all this crazy shit that he went through, and he still stuck to his convictions. But it did not take much for him to be like, "Nah, you deserve to die."
Yeah,
like his mother telling him to back off because he's going to get himself hurt one of these days was enough for him to be like, "You don't deserve to live." And then what happens? She dies.
Yeah,
and he doesn't feel anything about it except for like the four main bullies in his class are like drunk driving or something, and they hit his mom, and all five of them die. And then like all he can think about is how, wow, the classroom sure is brighter now.
Yeah,
looks like I was right. And that just continue. Apparently, it's a running theme throughout his life that the more and more it happened, the more and more he would say this person doesn't deserve to live, the more often that person would just end up dead. And you kind of understand where he's coming from, because when you see it over and over and the proof of his theory keeps showing up, I mean, he basically scientific method that shit and it worked. So you kind of understand where he's coming from, but it's, when you cross that line from, karma into murder, that's a little different.
Yeah.
So like you kind of understand why he ended up in the place where he did, where he fell so hard into the whole Akira worship thing.
Yeah.
Because his whole ideology was already set in stone before that even happened.
Yeah, it's tragic.
Also, fun fact, I'm sure you probably would have picked up on this by the time we got around to reading the short stories, but Mikami's design is the main character of the original pilot chapter. Like all the flashback scenes we see of him as a child, that is the same character design as the original main character before Light was come up with.
Yeah. Huh. But yeah, that was Death Note.
If you're interested in learning more about like the background and like the context for where Japan was at the time it was made and like all sorts of other crazy shit, I listened to Totally Not Mark's video today on YouTube about Death Note. It's about 45 minutes long. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in there that I did not know about. If you're interested in Death Note, definitely give that a watch, because it's really interesting.
Good to know. All right, we got an hour 19 through. I think it's about time for the segment for this episode. Indeed. And boy, was this a heavy one.
Yep. Sure was.
All right. Sure, that'll work. So The Haunting of Hill House, episode 7, Eulogy.
Yeah, we got our Hugh episode.
We sure did.
And wow, do I feel for this dude.
Yeah, and he's still a giant kind of question mark. Like,
Yep.
I understand now why he talks to himself all the time. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like so. Where do you stand on that? By the way, on the whole lives ghost thing,
I'm still completely not sure, because it's like Is
Like,
it
is
just
that
his,
actually Liv's ghost for him, or is it like, is that just his mind's way of coping?
I'm not sure. It's the show is really pushing that whole like. There are points where I'm like, this family's just like being haunted, and then there's points where I'm like, maybe Steve's right. Um, like I'm kind of in like this weird shit's weird, and I'm still
Well,
not
see,
sure.
that's the thing is I would be on the fence with that, especially having read the book. I would be on the fence with that. The problem here is that if this whole story was only taking place in the past, we were only getting the past parts of it, it would be entirely up for debate, because the second they found all that black mold, that calls everything into question. Because when you have a high exposure to black mold in such a dense degree like it is in that house, hallucinations is part of the symptoms you can experience.
Yeah, that did throw a huge wrench into things, because like there are points where I'm not 100% sure on the whole haunting part. Like there are points where I'm like, is this just this family is just weird? Because I don't
Is
know.
it actually just mental illness?
Yeah, there are so many points where I'm like, is Steve right? Like, is Steve seriously like the only one who's like right? I don't know, because there's so it completely like the Nell episode is the one that's kind of thrown me, like why I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode was a lot though.
Yeah. So it's the actual funeral for Nell in this episode.
What's crazy about this episode though is because it is fully a Hugh episode, they do acknowledge a lot of the ongoing plot, but we have like zero resolution for any of the side characters in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, we're not really going to get like full on resolution until the end for anyone. So that's just kind of like it's just the nature of the kind of story we're telling here.
Yeah.
So the episode started with him being interrogated. Well, not interrogated. That part of it comes later, but he's talking to this police officer. It's after he had gone back to the motel and talked to Nell, and then he went off with the police to go give a statement or tell a story or whatever. And the cop is doing this whole like dog and pony show about how, I got your coffee. Sorry it took so long. Did you say you wanted cream and sugar? Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot. And he's doing this whole fucking routine. It's a very clearly like a rehearsed like interrogation strategy that he's
it's
doing.
Good cop, bad cop, basically.
Yeah, because then like later on he's doing the I don't know why you can't help me and this and that. Like it's really interesting because he very clearly thinks that something is sketchy here. I don't know if he straight up thinks that he killed her or not, but he definitely thinks something is up.
The whole thing is bizarre.
Yeah.
To be honest, like we still, I'm sure we'll get explanation in future episodes, but yeah, it's odd. The shift between like past Hugh and present Hugh is very interesting too, because you're right, those two actors, it's almost uncanny how well they work together.
Yeah, for sure, especially because like there are a lot of little nuances in the way that they portray the characters that does translate, despite the fact that by the time Hugh gets to the present day, he is practically a different person because he's just so broken and used up.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of interesting things that I noticed throughout, because we got I forget exactly what it was. I think it was when he was first like testing all the mold and stuff, and he was about to say motherfucker because he was mad, and then he stopped and he said father mucker instead. And if you think back all the way to episode 1, Steve says that when he drops something while he's checking his mail right before Luke comes out of his apartment.
Yep.
So like that's something that like stuck with Steve. Like it's always interesting when you see like the kinds of memories that kids latch onto in their adult years. You know, the kind of things that actually have that kind of impact. Like how we see later on when Hugh is trying to talk to Luke about how he sometimes sees, or as he sees Liv every day, and that like that's a normal like coping thing, but that's not always the case, and sometimes it is like a real ghosty thing. And then Luke has that moment where he's like, big boys know the difference between real and imaginary, which is supposed to be like a kind of a dig at him, because he said the same thing to Luke when he was talking about the basement ghost back when he was a kid. So it's interesting, like the kinds of things that kids latch onto at an early age that stick with them throughout their life.
So I noticed right away, like obviously, like after the previous episode, like the entire family is a fucking disaster right now.
Mm-hmm.
Felt bad for Luke at the first half. There's a moment at the end where I really hope we're gonna get an explanation for, because I really hope it's not where I think it's going.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like Luke was just there because he really didn't do anything in the previous episode.
I mean, he gave the eulogy.
Well, that part was like the sweetest part of this episode.
Yeah.
I was talking like all the shit that happened in the previous episode that led to like the family being the fucking shit show it is.
Yeah.
If anything, Luke was the most innocent out of anybody in that whole thing.
Well, true. I mean, you think of it in terms of all the shit that he went through leading up to going to the wake with Joey and getting beat up and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then finding out his twin is dead, and there's the shock of that. There's the shock of seeing the body. And it is the fact that all the things that all of his family members are arguing about are all things that he wasn't there for.
Yeah.
So he has nothing to contribute.
Yeah. This is also like the only episode where I didn't 100% think Shirley was out of line. Mostly because we haven't got a reveal. Because to be honest, all the shit she's upset about is kind of valid.
But at the same time, I think, well, first of all, there's something I forgot to mention in last week's episode. Because after she catches them, or like walks in on them rather.
Whatever happened there.
And she like walks back out and she turns around and she sees the image of that dude raising the glass to her again, which we saw in her original episode, back episode 2. We still don't have any explanation for what that's about or what it is, but that is important. So I just wanted to make sure I brought it up because we forgot last week.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, in a lot of the cases, like, Shirley's the most unreasonable, but, like, in this one, like, I kind of get why she's mad.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, when she walks in, what we're seeing is very clear that Kevin is like, no. But she's still mad at him anyway. Like, he had to go and sleep at the hotel that Hugh was staying at. And then she was like avoiding riding in the same limo. And I also love that scene when she's like going to go into the limo and she sees Kevin sitting in there. And she's like, no, never mind. I'll go and take the other one. And Steve's like, really, Cheryl? Today? And she's like, it's not about you, Steve. Fuck off. It's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
I also love the scene where she tries that one. And then she's like, all right, I'll go to the other one. But Theo's in that one. And then she's like, never mind. I got some stuff I got to do. And then they both pull out and she's looking around like, fuck.
She's like, I didn't think this through.
Guess I'll call an Uber.
And then the dad's just like, hi.
Mm.
I did love the scene too with Liv in the car being like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yep.
Don't do it. Oh, you fucked up again, buddy.
Yeah. I do like that. So like my interpretation is that is just him. It's like a subconscious projection of him. So everything she's saying is technically coming from him in my mind.
Yeah.
So like it actually kind of shows like throughout like just how well he actually knows them, despite the fact that he hasn't really been in their lives since they were kids.
I always had the thought that the Liv that he sees is just his basically his conscience, but it's taken the form of her.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was kind of the way I look
at it. And there's like a lot of different like points where he's trying to connect with his kids, and like we're kind of getting like her kind of coaching him through it. Like when Like when he first goes to Shirley's and like they're doing the whole Shirley space thing. So he goes over and starts talking to Theo, and she's hungover as fuck.
Honestly, like Theo seems to be the only person he really gets through to in this episode.
Well, it's like she says though, she's like, I should have made more of an effort, and I'm sorry. I guess we don't realize how easy it is to fuck up until we make a huge fuck up, and that's the point where like, all right, the empathy is kind of showing more now because she understands how easy it is to make a big fuck up like that.
I'm not gonna lie though, the scene during the funeral, like where Theo's girlfriend shows up, and I'm just like, this girl must really like Theo because my god, the amount of fucking red flag.
Well, Theo's a giver, so you know.
I guess. I was just like, I'm like, god damn, like the fact that this woman is sticking around at this point.
Yeah, right.
Because it's been like anytime like she shows up, Theo's like, the fuck are you doing here? And it's like
I still hold to what I said back in Theo's episode when she shows up and she's like, well, hold on, let's talk. It's like, you got a call to come over past midnight and you don't think this is about a booty call?
Yeah,
how naive are you?
That woman seems very does she keep coming back, or is this like the last time we see her?
Well, see, we have that scene when she first walks in and Theo approaches her and she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. And like then she stops herself and she says, I'm sorry. And she walks off. But then later on, I think it's during the like reception after the funeral.
Yeah, I see they're chatting there in that one.
Yeah, scene. and they're having like an animated conversation. Trish is smiling. So it seems like despite her initial reaction to seeing her, that she realized that she was being an asshole and was trying to make good. So it seems like she's trying to pull back on how shitty she was being.
Yeah. It's like damn, that character feels like she's there as like a prop more than anything at times.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff in the past to talk about in this episode too.
The scene in the basement with the guy who
the caretaker, Mr. Dudley.
His entire like backstory speech. That entire speech is like, holy fuck. Like that keeps going.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those famous Flanagan monologues. He loves his monologues, and I admit I love them too.
Well, how he like makes the whole big point where he's like, and that's why I've always said, never in this house after 7:00.
Yeah. And he makes a lot of, I mean, because the thing that kicks that whole thing off is because they're trying to figure out where the leak is coming from that's causing the mold. And like he and Liv are talking about it, and he's like, we got all these random blueprints, but none of them like seem to go together right. And that's like her whole thing is she makes blueprints. She's been designing the Forever House and everything else. So she's like, all right, I'll take all these like pieces and I'll try to piece together a master blueprint. So, you know, she comes down when they're trying to deal with the whole mold situation, and she gives him the master blueprint, and he opens it up, but we don't see it yet. But he's opening it up and he's looking at it like, what the fuck is this? And like, even when Mr. Dudley comes up and he's like, what is that, the master blueprint? And he goes, I guess, but not really. And like, that's where the whole thing kicks off. And then when he actually approaches her about it, well, actually,
she
no,
seems
because
confused too.
Well, that comes after the screwdriver scene, doesn't it?
Oh, the fan scene, all that.
Well, that too. But I was talking about the screwdriver.
Oh, was that when he was trying to get into the red room, or?
No, it's when he was waking up and she was straddling him.
Oh, yeah, that scene. Yeah, that was.
And then I love his reaction too, because he wakes up and he grabs her hand and like kind of shakes her a little bit, and she like snaps out of it, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "What? I don't know. I was having a bad dream and this and that." He's like, "You think?"
Yeah.
And then she's like, you know, trying to you know, back off from it, and he's like, you were just holding a screwdriver to my throat. And her response is, no, I wasn't. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, this was the first episode where you really start seeing like her
She's
decline.
unhinged. She's unhinged. Yeah.
Although he was starting to get a little unhinged too throughout this episode.
Well, I mean, by this point, the house is affecting everybody, but it seems to be especially strong when it comes to Liv. And yeah, and after the whole screwdriver scene is when he picks out the blueprints and he's looking at them and he's like, this doesn't, and she before he even breaks out like the other blueprints, even she's like, what is this? He's like, this is what you brought me. And she's like, no, it isn't. This isn't what I did. And then he breaks out the Forever Home blueprints and he lays it over and it says, you were just drawing the Forever Home multiple times to make this blueprint. Like, and that's when she's like, yeah, maybe I'll go visit my sister.
Yeah.
And she looks disheveled and like out of it, like in that scene too.
She's having a hard time. And God, like the whole that scene and then the whole scene, basically his like that basement is fucking with him.
Yeah,
probably because of the mold.
Yeah. Well, there's the whole fan thing, which I gotta say, that's on Hugh. That's on Hugh.
Well, yeah, you should look back and be sure before you stick your hand in there.
You don't just shove your hand in while you're looking at something else. Even if you think it's off, you fucking look first. Like, there's no question. That was on Hugh, not on Steve.
Also, like, he was bleeding a lot. Like,
yeah,
like there was tendon damage there. You don't just wrap that up and it's fine. Like
that was almost a degloving. Like that was
really, almost a full severing. Like that was.
Yeah, no, he
like, when you see this like the close up of it, like I'm like, that's tendons. Like there's no way that thing was working after that.
Yeah, that's another Flanaganism is he likes to fuck up hands. You remember you watched Doctor Sleep?
Yeah. And fucking Life of Chuck. That happens at one point in there.
Yeah, but that was minor.
It still happened though.
That was still a little scratch. It was a little scratch. This is very different.
Yeah, this was one of the times where I'm like, I kind of felt bad for Steve because it's like you can understand
wrong.
All of these scenes are I'm like, I get why Steve's got fucking daddy issues in the future.
Because he was definitely seemed to be the most close to his dad.
It's the oldest child thing.
And now he is the most like vitriolic against him as an adult.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty big turn. Kind of similar to Matsuda's turn with Light.
Yeah, kind of. So there's that whole scene, then there's also the body in the wall because the rats, you know.
Yes. Yeah. So it turns out that well, the scratching he had been hearing that he thought was rats was actually the ghost of the bowler hat man. I don't know if you picked up on that, but he had the cane in there with him.
Yeah, I know that.
And apparently he had bricked himself up in the basement. And I'm assuming it was the house fucking with him. But he bricked himself up in the basement and then realized what had happened and tried to scratch his way out. Didn't work.
Yeah. That scene was an interesting scene.
Yeah.
So going back to was there any more past scenes that were significant, or is it mostly present?
Not that I can think. Not in particular. I think we covered all the major things. I guess there was like the little conversation they had right before they found out about the mold, about how because we were talking about this is the aftermath of the storm, and they were talking about how it was like because the Dudleys live like really close. Like they don't live on the property, they're like right on the edge. And all they got was like a little bit of rain. So it seems like the whole storm was just on the house. Which just adds even more to the whole like, yeah, we're just fucking with you thing. And I'm wondering, so obviously like the suspicion here is that the house didn't just have mold. The house gave itself mold on purpose.
It's like the weirdest version of Monster House ever.
And I'm wondering if like did it do that just to fuck with them, or did it do it specifically to keep them from finishing the house quickly so that Liv would stay longer and get more crazy?
It's a good question.
Because either way, I mean, because he even says, like, if we can't flip this house in the next couple months, we're going to be stuck here because we're not going to be able to afford to do anything.
Yeah.
Because their money was already getting tight by that point.
Yeah, because this house was a lemon, basically.
Yeah. I mean, they knew it was going to be rough, but, like, if they were able to get it, like, up and running and looking good, they would have been able to get a lot of money for that. That was a nice ass house.
Yeah.
But, so in the present, we actually see their aunt for the first time, the aunt that basically raised all the kids.
Yeah, and she's pretty normal.
Yeah, because I think up until this episode, we had heard about Aunt Janet over and over, but I don't think until this episode they'd ever specified on which side the aunt was, like if it was Liv's sister or if it was Hugh's sister.
Yep.
And in this episode, it's pretty obvious that it's Liv's sister. But even taking aside them like pretty much blatantly saying it, there's actually a moment I noticed, kind of going into the whole like feeding off of other people's performances. Because when she first shows up to the funeral and she's talking to them and she like starts talking about I think she's talking to Hugh and she's like starting to talk about something, and then she stops herself and she goes, well, and then she like goes off to go see that. And that was a thing that Liv was doing a lot in a lot of the past scenes, where she would start saying something and she'd stop herself and go, well, and then she'd start going on a different thing.
Yeah.
So it's one of those interesting like actors feeding into each other's performances, and really those little moments that you catch and you're like, oh, that's a really cool touch that they get. I like that.
Yeah.
But we got some more ghosty scenes in the present.
Yeah. Or Luke. That scene was like disturbing.
Oh, but actually, before we get into that, so when they're like right before Luke's eulogy, Shirley is up in front of everybody and she's reading a poem, and like this is like a double whammy of like, this is so incredibly Shirley, because she once again is using somebody else's words instead of saying what instead of anything coming from her, and B, the whole like theme of the poem itself was basically just a poem about denial.
Yep.
You're just basically saying like, I refuse to call you dead. You're just not here right now. Like it's just like that whole like 20-second bit with Shirley is just so in character.
That's like the big difference between her and Steve, because I feel like Steve legitimately doesn't believe in the shit. Shirley's like just like basically in denial about it.
But yeah, so we get the scene of them actually at the gravesite, and they're doing the thing where they all throw a handful of dirt on the grave. When Luke goes up to do so, he looks up and he sees Nell as the Batneck lady.
Yeah.
And all she does is she just says, don't. And then creepy ass ghost Liv is in the grave, and she grabs him and she's trying to pull him in, saying, don't leave me, stay with me. Which is pretty fucking weird. Really creepy.
Ghost Liv, and that's not even Ghost Liv's creepiest scene in this episode.
No, because we actually get another scene where actually it's a shared experience for the first fucking time.
Yeah.
In this show.
Yeah, because we get the whole, because of course like Steve pulls Luke away from the thing and he does the whole like fucking knock it off, I don't want to bury you next thing, because he's in denial still. Well, he's not in denial. Steve just legitimately doesn't believe.
Yeah, Steve's just like, don't give in to mental illness or you'll end up just like them. I don't want to bury another one of my siblings, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the more you read, the Steve comes off as less of an asshole, and it's just like it's straight up. He just doesn't believe this shit. He straight up thinks there's a mental problem.
Yeah, and also I think that he, like, again, this is another scene. Like, yeah, he's coming off in a certain way, but I think that little outburst he's having against Luke there is coming from a place of love. Like,
Yeah.
he is really hurt by this whole situation. Like, he is full on grieving, and he sees what he thinks is Luke falling into the same trap that Nell fell into, and he's not having it.
Yeah, honestly, that seems to be like Steve's whole motive with all the characters is like he has like the best intentions. He just doesn't get what's going on with them and like why.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, they all go back to the funeral home, and this is when Hugh like starts trying to talk to Luke about because he overheard the conversation between Luke and Steve at the grave, and he was trying to like kind of comfort him, but also affirm what he experienced.
Yeah,
and that's what Luke says the whole line about big boys knowing the difference between real and imaginary, and that obviously Hugh's a little taken aback by that.
I did notice right away though. The second he goes to walk over to talk to Luke, I'm like, Luke's holding the purse. That's not good.
Yeah, no. Because after that conversation, Luke goes out for a smoke, and then what apparently is an hour later, it happens pretty much instantaneously.
Yeah, when I heard going out for a smoke, I went, "That's not good."
Yeah,
because then that.
All of a sudden, Shirley's like, "Where's my bank card?" And then Theo comes in like, "Dude, where's my car?" And that's when everyone starts putting the pieces together. Like,
I will say Steve's comment of like, I don't know, maybe you parked it somewhere else, and she's like, really? Like,
are you stupid?
Like, Steve,
go one driveway, idiot.
Like it's like Steve. Like, for every good point you make, sometimes you say the stupidest shit.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna park it somewhere other than in my driveway, dumbass.
That comment, I was just like, really? It's like they just needed Steve to be there for this moment. It's like, make him say something stupid.
But that's what I think in Steve is like, has anybody seen Luke recently? And that's what they're all like, fuck. And it's like, it was Steve who was like, he probably already has a needle in his arm, which is like not a very kind, especially after everything he went through and didn't get high. I mean, I understand, like, again, they have their history.
Steve seems to be the biggest pessimist when it comes to Luke's and ever getting sober.
I think Steve's just the biggest pessimist, period. With Shirley is a strong second.
Yeah, well, Shirley's more in denial about everything.
But yeah, they're all like scrambling to try and figure everything out. And
Hugh's just like, "Hey, hi."
Oh yeah, because we also had that scene right before all that where he's like asking Steve if he wants to go to the bar and like have a drink. There's like kind of him trying to like, make the effort, kind of.
Because he's done it with all of the kids, or at least attempted with all of the kids at this point.
And then like his like live ghost, his personal live ghost, is like trying to like coach him through like all the right things to say in that moment, and he can't bring himself to do it.
Yeah, that's like the word. That's the thing. Well, that's why I feel like it is his conscience, because like it's literally him. He knows what he needs to say, but he just can't do it because he's like punishing himself for stuff at this point.
Yeah. And then at that point, Hugh and Theo are like walking into the other room. Oh no, because Theo sees the footprints.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What the fuck is that?" And they follow the footprints and they find Shirley's model of the Forever House just smashed to bits on the floor. And they lean over to look at it, and there's creepy live ghost crawling at them.
This scene was just weird. Like, I was so confused, like what the symbolism was supposed to be here, and I'm like, this is odd.
And then like Theo's having a straight up fucking panic attack, freaking out. about it.
Is it
And
because
then
she was
Shirley-
touching the ground like at the time?
No, I think it was just the sheer horror of what happened.
Because I did notice this is the first time like someone touches her, she doesn't lose her shit. Like she had other things to worry about.
I mean, that could be part of it. I don't know that she specifically said one way or the other, but I love that Shirley comes in and she's like, "Who broke my thing?" While Theo's having like a panic attack on the ground.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sitting here. I'm like, because I knew the credits were coming. Like they're gonna end right here, aren't they? I'm sitting here. I'm like, let's see, is Shirley gonna badly react to this? Oh, credits. We'll find out next week, I guess.
Yeah, and then we have the fucking Hugh being like, "Oh, I can fix it," because that's been kind of like his mantra throughout this whole thing. I can fix it. I can fix it. And
yeah, because I'm just like sitting here. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like Shirley's already fucking mad about the fucking world. What's gonna happen next?
Yeah, right. But yeah, so that's where we leave off on this episode. I think we got all the major points.
Yeah, I think so. Because other than that, it was really just. Oh well, we didn't talk about Hugh fucking trying to gorilla his way into the fucking Red Room.
Oh yeah, because that was the point where I think it was after his hand got cut up, and he was just like, "All right, I'm fucking done with this shit." And he tries to fucking force his way in and it just don't work. And then, because actually the episode ended because it went back to the interrogation room with the cop, who actually was the same cop who came when they found the body in the basement.
Yeah.
And they had that whole scene where it's like, "Oh, is it?" And he's like, "Is it what? Is it haunted?" He's like, "Oh, well, yeah." And then he like kind of backtracks and he's like, "Yeah, at least my kids think so." And yeah, it was yeah. And then we get the interrogation where at this point it is just a full-on interrogation. And the cop seems really fixated, like, why I just wish you would fill in these 3 hours. You found the body and waited 3 hours to call it in. What's up with that? And he's like, "I don't know, man. I was in shock and grieving." And obviously the cop does not buy that. Although, to be fair, when you do have a sudden shock like that, it's like you do kind of freeze up a lot of the time. For 3 hours, though, yeah, that's a little much. What do you think? What do you think is up with that? That 3 hours?
I'm sure it has to do with some fucking weird house shit. Like that's honestly my thoughts on, because I'm sure we're gonna find out what happened during those 3 hours at some point. And I'm sure it was some house shit. Because I don't think Liv is dead initially when they leave.
Well, no, because they see her as they're leaving.
I'm because it's that entire section there is like the blank spot that we have right now, and I'm like, we're gonna get this eventually.
Yeah.
I don't think Hugh just fucked around for 3 hours. I think something happened there.
But and then like they're talking about the Red Room thing in the interrogation. And he's like, nope, that door has been locked the whole time, and it was locked the whole, since we moved in, and it hasn't changed. But then we actually see that scene of him going up the stairs and seeing the Red Room open, and the episode ends with him running into it.
Yeah.
So that's where we get left off for now.
Yeah. Basically, this episode didn't answer any questions from the previous episode, just gave us more.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'm like more confused now than I was in the last episode, and I'm like, well, let's see where it goes.
Well, there will be a Liv episode, so keep
That's
that in
what
mind.
I thought. I figured that at some point, because we got to get something here. But yeah, this show has been a trip.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty. Well, I think now at that, almost another two. These episodes are long. Like the Hill House episodes have been longer ones, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. It's a good show.
There is. But yeah, I guess now once again, my brain's fucking scrambled. Once again, guys, thank you for joining us on Geek Addicts. You can find Geek Addicts on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly the usuals. Check us out on the Superpod Network, superpodnetwork.com. New site, check it out. It's not as grandiose as the old one, but it's serviceable for what it is. We're still working on it. And check out all the awesome creators over at Superpod Network. Tons of awesome people there. Yeah. But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all later.
Have a good one.